All right, fellow coder, welcome to this next lesson in our series where we are building a real-world web app from scratch, leveraging React on the front end and Spring Boot via Java on the back end, tying it all together with a MySQL database. In this one, we're going to be diving into adding new functionality and a new domain object to our application, specifically the ability to comment, to leave comments on an assignment. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the sort of the background that's, paint the picture, if you will, for what we're doing. So when a code reviewer, who is someone who will log into the app and perform code reviews on the assignments that these students will submit, when they're looking at an assignment submission, they could reject it, right? They could see that the code is not good enough, there's bugs, there's missing functionality, what have you. The assignment is not properly completed, so they may reject the assignment. Now, we have this functionality already in our application. They have the ability to reject an assignment and send it back to a student, but the part that we're missing is, along with a rejection, there should be some means by which the code reviewer can leave a comment, and vice versa. The student should be able to leave a comment as well on that same assignment. So, in today's lesson, we're going to be adding this new domain object, aka a database table, to our application, and this will be the comment object, which will also represent the comment database table. And this will sort of belong to an assignment, because what do? You leave a comment on an assignment, right? So there will be comments that will sort of belong to and be owned by individual assignments. Now, we should also know who sent or who owns that particular comment, so that we can properly display names. We probably should see dates and times and stuff like that. So we'll get there. But yeah, and they should both be able to leave comments. So I'm gonna do my best to code this out and to see how far we get along this process. I have no idea if we're going to be able to get very far at all, but you never know. So let's dive into the code itself. So let me stop my server. On the back end, we're going to go into the domain package. And right now we have 3 domain objects: assignment, authority, and user. So we're just going to add a 4th one. So we're going to have this thing called a comment. Okay. So when you create a new domain object, aka the database table, this is actually known as an entity. Okay. So let me Control-Shift-O that to import from Java persistence. That will allow us to, essentially, that creates a database table, right? It tells it, hey, this represents a database table, and it will by default name that table the name of the class in sort of snake case. So this will just be a lowercase comment will be the name of the table. Let me just double check and make sure that comment is not a reserved word. It might be. We might have to pluralize that because it's a reserved word. It's annoying to pluralize it, but, comment, and then we'll say table name equals comment. So if you want to override the default behavior of naming the database table the same as the name of the class, you can use @table, which comes from Java persistence. That allows you to override. So it'll create a table called comments, which is not a reserved word in the MySQL database anyway. So what's going to be in here? Well, we're going to have a long for an ID. Okay, and we'll call this the ID, and we'll call this generated value. So ID will mean it's a primary key. Generated value means that this will, strategy equals something. Let me Control-Shift-O to import these two guys. Strategy equals what? Control space there next to the equal sign, identity. So what that does is ID means it's a primary key. No big deal. Generated value strategy identity means it will use the persistence provider to assign primary keys. What that means is it's going to leverage MySQL, because that's what we're using. It's going to leverage MySQL's auto increment functionality to automatically assign an ID to each row of data, to each comment. That's all that means. What else? We need, let's see, local date time maybe. We'll call this the created date. Let's see, what else do we need in the comment? We need someone who owns it. We'll call this the user. creator, created by maybe, and we will say string text. Now, here's the thing: when you leave a comment, you might be leaving a long comment. So there might be a better data type here to leverage other than string, although it might just be an annotation that we use to annotate it, because you might want to use something like data types like short text or long text or medium text inside of MySQL. There's different data types for text. Let's just have a look-see at the first article. It talks about text. So by default, like a string will be 255 characters, like varchar 255. But the text has, okay, so tiny text holds 255 characters. So that's the equivalent, I guess, of a varchar, so to speak. Text has 65,000 bytes of long form, content of text. So 65,000 bytes is 65 kilobytes. So that, I think, is good. I think that might be more than enough availability. So something like a single Unicode character, which I think we use Unicode 8 in Java, if I'm not mistaken. It's either Unicode 8 or 16. I believe Unicode 8 means 8 bytes, although I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that. Let's assume it's 8 bytes. So divide that by 8. That gives you 8,000 characters to work from. And even if I'm wrong, even if it's 16 bytes per character, that gives you 4,000 characters, which for a comment should be more than enough, right? Famous last words, but we'll leverage the text data type. Now the question is, how do we tell it that we want to use a text data type? Well, we're going to use, what is this called? Java X persistence text data type. MySQL. How do oh, it was right there. Let's see. Lob, is that right? Since you're using JPA, use the lob annotation, optionally the column annotation. Here's what JPA specification says. A lob annotation specifies that a persistent property or field should be persistent as a large object to a database. I'm not... the requirement is that the user can write an article, therefore I chose type text. How can I convert string into MySQL text? Is that how you do it? Lob length 512. Lob, I get long text. Column definition text. Okay. This has a very similar... Okay, so I think that's the one. Yeah, okay, let's try this. So for the text, we'll say column definition text. Alrighty. And then what else? So we have an ID, created date, created by, and a text. So we know when it was created, by whom it was created, and the text itself that we'll put into the comment, as well as a way to uniquely identify that comment. And then we need to know what assignment does this belong to, right? Okay, cool. I think that's all the data we need. Control-Shift-S and then R to generate getters and setters. Boom, boom, boom. Control-Shift-F, like Frank, to format the code. Done and done. So there, we got some formatted code. Now, what we need to do is we need to assign two different relationships. So there's two objects that have relationships here, assignment and created by, and created by. So assignment and created by, we need to figure out the, the relationship. So for an assignment, can one assignment have many comments? Yes, one assignment can have many comments. That feels correct. It shouldn't have just one comment. You should have the ability to post as many comments as you like. If you grab any one of those comments from an assignment, does it map back to that one assignment only, or can that one comment belong to several assignments? So is there a way for a user to post one comment and have it apply and be posted in every single assignment, right? Or at least more than one? No, it doesn't feel right. So this is a one-to-many relationship. One assignment has many comments, but any one comment that you grab out of the many can be directly tied back to just one assignment. One to many, many to one. So we want a many to one annotation here. Okay. And for user, with respect to a comment, a user can have many comments, and any one comment that you grab, should it be tied back to one and only one user? I think so. Right? Any comment that you grab between a user and a comment. Is there actually a relationship here? This is interesting. Because this implies that the... I'm not sure if this is correct. Is this correct? Because we do need to know who posted the... we do need to know who posted the comment. Do we need to have access to the entire user object? Maybe. So this implies that one user can create many comments, and any one comment is tied back to only one user. I mean, that sounds right. I guess we'll see what happens. This implies that the comment will have a foreign key back to user, which is probably okay. Let's boot up the server and see what happens. Cool. So it created a table comment and added 2 foreign keys, created by ID and assignment ID. I guess the column name, I should have put a column name in here, because created by ID is not great. Column name is user ID. Let me stop the server. Let me drop that table. Drop table comments is a table it should have created. Let me just refresh the database here. Refresh. Yeah, there's comments. So drop table comments, and then I'll reboot the server. That will recreate the table again, and it should create with the user. Oh, hold on. I think it needs to be join. Yeah, column is not allowed on a many to one. I think you'd use join. Does it give me a hint? No. I think it's called join column. Yeah, save that. I think it's called join column. Let me try that again. There we go. User ID, assignment ID. There you go. Cool. So this way we can call it created by in the Java world, but in the table, it'll be called user ID, which kind of makes more sense in the world of, what you call it, in the world of databases. And then this text, I guess that's okay. It just looks weird to have the name of the column is text, and then the data type is text. It's almost like I should have probably called it comment text or comment value. Comment. I mean, text does kind of work. It's just weird that it's like text. Anyway. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. What are we doing here? We are going into here, and I think that looks okay. So we have our columns in the database table. It looks okay. So now with this new database table, let us start to mess around with some of the front-end code, possibly. Let me think. What do we need to do next? We need to have the ability to leave a comment on an assignment, which leads me to believe that there's going to be a button saying leave a comment, or maybe a text box, and then you say leave a comment, and it should do a fetch, which should post to the back end. So there's a couple ways to do this. We can first start with mapping of it really doesn't matter. We can map out either direction. Let's just do the front end first. Why not? So where's the front end? Front end is here. So let's go into the this screen, which is the assignment view here. There we go. And below everything, below the back button, here we should have essentially another div that potentially, let's say, has a top margin of like 3 or 4 or something. Inside of this div, we will have a text area. Okay, with I don't know, with 10 columns or something. Ooh, 10 columns is small. How do you make a text area that spans style, width, 100%? Can I do that? There you go. Cool. And then can I do like rounded borders and stuff? Can I say like border radius like 2 m's or something? Maybe that's too much. 1 m? Yeah, I don't know. 0.5. Just a subtle... There you go. Subtle rounding on those corners. So we'll have that text area for comments, and then maybe have more margin, top. And we can have a button underneath here that says, post comment. Boom. Good enough. And yeah. Okay, fair enough. We can do more with the look and the feel here, but the post comment button, we can do an on click, and we can say this will submit comment, right? And it'll submit what comment? It'll submit the text that is being typed into the text area. So how do you see what text is in the text area? It'll have to be on change equals something, which is usually it's a set. So set comment text, set comment. Yeah, so we'll create some comment state inside of here. Const, let's put it up here. Const comment and set comment equals state. Start with nothing, right? Cool. So submit comment will create a function to submit the comment as well. So up here, function, come on, function submit comment. And basically we can say something about fetch, or rather Ajax is what we use. The URL endpoint will be /API/comments, and it'll be a post. The JWT will be user.jwt, and the request body will be the message, will be JSON, or will just be the comment, right? And then data, we'll just say console log data for now. Okay, so that'll be our post. So post API comments. So why did I do this? Where did I get all these values from? Magically pulling them out of off the top of my head. Well, API/comments is the path. Everything in our app will be /API, which means talk to the Java server. And then /comments is the endpoint for creating comments, right? And then in the comment itself, we need to store more information though. So the comment should probably not be an empty string. It should be an object that represents the text as well as the assignment that it belongs to, right? Which I think we can just say assignment. Well, ID maybe. We'll see. And then what else? The user, which will send a JWT. And the created date and stuff, we can figure that out on the back end. So that'll be the gist of it. And then here, yeah, we can that'll stringify this comment. Now down on the if I try to type something, oh, it actually works. Oh, right, because it does it sets the comment, right? So if I say submit comment, does it work? Wait a second. It shouldn't say set comment, because set comment is not the full picture. Set comment is an object. So we need to, we'll call it update comment. And we'll pass in, we'll call it update comment and have it pass in the event.target.value, which will be the text in here, okay? And then update comment, oops, is function update comment, which gives you the value. So then we can say, hey, same old with the way we do things, which is we create a copy of the object in question, which is an object which we can destructure comment, and then we can say comment copy dot text equals value, and then we can say set comment the new comment copy, right? So that way it'll actually update it, refresh it, whatever you want to call it, right? So cool. Now if I say post comment, it should, well, it's going to fail because we don't have an endpoint for it, right? Converting circular structure to JSON, starting with blah state node. Okay, so something's wrong with my comment. So let's do a use effect hook to see what's going on with our comment object. So we'll put a dependency on comment and say, hey, when comment changes, I want you to log to the console the value of it. Okay, so here's our comment. This looks good. This looks good. So if I type in a comment ASDF, okay, so text is there, assignment is there, user is there, and that's it, right? Cool, I like that. And if I say post comment, there we go. That's what I expected to see. 404 not found. But I wanted to see in the network tab, I just wanted to peek at the network tab to make sure that the payload, yes, the payload has the entire object. Perfect. So now what we'll do in the next video is we will create the backend for this, right? The server side will accept this text and it will save it into the database, and then we'll come back and update the view on the front end to actually display these comments. So if hopefully if you want to see that, be sure to give this video a like so that you help out other people in seeing this content. And if you want to see the next video, don't forget to subscribe by clicking on the circle above my face right here. And you know the drill, right? That's how you stay in touch with all these videos that I'm putting out in this series. So thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care of yourself, happy learning, and bye for now.